Imagine a world where the mighty Marathas stood undisputed, victorious over the Mughals. The echoes of Mughal cannons silenced forever, replaced by the thunder of Maratha war cries resounding across the subcontinent. But wait, this isn't just a battle of swords and strategy, it's a battle for the soul of India. What if the Marathas had not just defeated the Mughals, but completely dismantled their empire? Would India have emerged as a unified Hindu empire? Would British colonization have been thwarted? Or would the course of Indian history have taken a path we can barely imagine? Buckle up as we dive deep into this alternate timeline, exploring a tale of power, unity, and perhaps unintended consequences. With the Mughals completely crushed, the Marathas wouldn't just hold power, they would create a new order. Imagine an India where the Hindu ethos was the foundation of governance, where Sanskrit flourished and ancient traditions blended seamlessly with a modern administrative system. Temples would be restored to their former glory, pilgrimage routes protected by the state, and scholars of the Vedas once again guiding rulers in matters of dharma. The vision of a united India with a common cultural and spiritual identity would finally be realized. But this unity wouldn't just be symbolic, it would be political, with the Marathas establishing a centralized authority, stitching together the vast Indian subcontinent under one banner. But that's not all. Imagine the British East India Company arriving on Indian shores, not to find a fragmented land of warring princes, but a formidable empire ruled by the Marathas. No longer could they manipulate divided kingdoms, no longer could they exploit internal strife. The Marathas, with their naval strength, could have blocked British expansion at its very inception. Ports like Surat and Bombay would have been fortified, preventing British trade monopolies and cutting off their supply lines. Without a foothold in India, the British might never have colonized the subcontinent. India could have remained free centuries before 1947. Now, imagine an India not drained by colonial exploitation, but thriving under Maratha rule, the spice routes, the silk trade, all under Indian control, ports bustling with commerce, Indian textiles dominating global markets, and the subcontinent emerging as a global economic powerhouse, with maritime trade flourishing and a strong naval force guarding India's interests. The Marathas could have built a trade network rivaling that of the greatest European empires. India would have dictated the terms of international trade, rather than being a pawn in the hands of foreign powers. And what of culture? The Marathas were not just warriors, they were patrons of Indian art, music, and architecture. Imagine the grandeur of ancient Indian art forms continuing to evolve, unhindered by colonial influence. Indian classical music, undisturbed by foreign influences, flourishing across the land. Sanskrit, thriving as the language of learning and philosophy. The knowledge of Ayurveda and ancient sciences preserved and advanced, enriching the lives of millions. With the Marathas at the helm, India's cultural and spiritual identity would have been safeguarded for generations. But the Maratha ambition was never bound by borders. What if, after securing India, the Marathas had turned their eyes beyond the subcontinent? With naval power and a strong military, the Marathas could have extended their influence to Southeast Asia, the Middle East, even parts of Africa. Indian culture and governance spreading far beyond its borders, creating an Indian sphere of influence in regions that would have otherwise fallen to European powers. Imagine an Indian Ocean dominated not by British or Portuguese fleets, but by the ships of the Marathas, protecting Indian interests on a global scale. Under this scenario, governance wouldn't just be about power, it would be about vision. The Marathas, known for their decentralized system, could have implemented a model blending local autonomy with central authority. Peshwas, ensuring order in distant provinces while maintaining a strong cultural and administrative center in Maharashtra. This balance could have allowed for sustained growth while preventing rebellion and unrest. Justice systems based on dharma, ensuring fairness and regional representation, giving every part of India a voice. But every story has two sides. absolute power comes with a price. A Maratha-dominated India might have struggled to accommodate the diversity that made India so vibrant. Religious minorities could have felt marginalized, leading to internal unrest. Would the Marathas have been able to maintain peace across such a vast and diverse empire? Or would cracks have emerged in their quest for absolute control? The very unity they fought so hard to create could have become a source of internal conflict, fragmenting the empire over time. Moreover, power has a way of breeding factions. The Maratha Empire, even at its peak, was plagued by internal rivalries. If the Mughals had been defeated completely, these rivalries could have turned into civil wars, tearing apart the empire from within. Peshwas, Holkars, Scindias vying for control, leading to a fragmented empire, once again vulnerable to external threats. The dream of a unified India could have collapsed under the weight of ambition and betrayal. And so we return to the crossroads of history. What if the Marathas had defeated the Mughals completely? Would India have risen as a beacon of power, culture, and unity? Or would internal divisions have undone the very foundation of that dream? History is never black and white. It's a canvas painted with the hues of ambition, sacrifice, and consequence. If you enjoyed this journey through an alternate timeline, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking stories from the past. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of What If?